Hello champions and happy Thursday. Today we're going to talk about how we can use multiplying fractions by whole numbers to find fractions of whole numbers. You're going to do a great job with this lesson. I know it, and so does Mr. Smiles. He's giving you the thumbs up. Let's jump right in. Let's start with our do now. Miss Ward bought 6 king cakes from the store for Harambe. She gave the same amount of cake to each of 9 classes. How many cakes did each class get? Well, first, what's being split up in this problem? The 6 king cakes are being split up. So what division problem can I use? I can use 6 divided by 9. When I do 6 divided by 9, that gives me 6/9 as a fraction. But I don't see that as one of my answer choices. What should I do? I should simplify. I can divide both 6 and 9 by 3. That gives me 2/3. Let's do another one. What's 4 times 2/5? When I multiply 4 times 2/5, what improper fraction will I get? I'll get 8/5 because 4 times 2 is 8 and my denominator stays the same. How do I write that as a mixed number? Well, 8 divided by 5 is 1, remainder 3. That gives me 1 3/5. Next, let's write each fraction in simplest form. First, 3/12. What's the largest number that goes into 3 and 12? It's 3. I can divide both by 3. What's the resulting fraction? It's 1/4. What's the largest number that goes into 4 and 20? It's 4. When I divide by 4, what's the resulting fraction? It's 1/5. What's the largest fraction that goes into both 16 and 20? It's 4. When I divide both by 4, what do I get? I get 4/5. What's the largest number that goes into both 6 and 15? It's 3. When I divide both by 3, what do I get? I get 2/5. You did a great job with the do now and fluency. Let's look at an example first. Mr. Gibson bought 6 cans of Coke. He gave 1/2 of the cans to Miss Way. How many cans of Coke did Mr. Gibson give to Miss Way? So we're trying to find out what is 1/2 of 6. Well, first, let's draw a model around the 6 cans of Coke and split them into 2 equal groups. 1, 2. There would be 3 cans in each group, because there are a total of 6, and I'm splitting them into 2 equal groups. So 1 out of 2, or 1/2 of 6 cans of Coke, is 3. Now, I could also use multiplication by multiplying 6 times 1/2 to find 1/2 of 6. When I multiply 6 times 1/2, what improper fraction do I get? I get 6/2. When I change that to a mixed number, I know that 2 goes into 6 3 times with no remainder. So the answer is 3. Let's do another example. Jane bought a pack of cookies that held 8 cookies. She ate 3/4 of the cookies. How many cookies did Jane eat? We're finding 3/4 of 8, or 3/4 times 8. Let's start by doing a model. I know that Jane started with 8 cookies altogether. If she started with 8 cookies altogether and I split them into 4 equal groups, how many cookies would be in each group? What's 8 divided by 4? There would be 2 cookies in each group. Jane ate 3 out of 4 groups of the cookies, 3/4. If she ate 3 of the groups of 2 cookies, how many cookies did she eat? Jane ate 6 cookies. I could show my work by multiplying 3/4 times 8. When I multiply 3/4 times 8, what improper fraction do I get? Well, 3 times 8 is 24. My denominator stays the same. When I divide 24 by 4, I get 6 with no remainder. Let's do another example. There are 20 players on the flag football team. 3/5 of the players are in 6th grade. How many players are in 6th grade? What are we finding? We're finding 3/5 of 20, or 3/5 times 20. When I find a fraction of a number, I'm multiplying that fraction by that number. Let's start with a model. How many total players are on the flag football team? There are 20. If I split those 20 players into 5 equal groups, how many will be in each group? There will be 4 in each group. I know that 3 out of those 5 groups are 6th graders. So, how many students are in 6th grade on the flag football team? There are 12. 3 times 4 is 12. Let's check our work with multiplication. 3/5 times 20. What improper fraction would I get when I multiply 3/5 times 20? Well, 3 times 20 is 60. And my denominator stays the same. Now when I divide 60 divided by 5, 5 goes into 6 one time. That's 5. Bring down my 0. 5 goes into 10 two times. The answer is 12. 12 players on the flag football team are in 6th grade. Let's do one more example. Alex had 20 pages left to read for his assignment. He read 1/4 of his remaining pages in homeroom. How many pages did Alex read in homeroom? First, what are we finding in this problem? We're finding 1/4 of 20, or 1/4 times 20. I know that Alex is starting with 20 pages to read. If he splits those 20 pages into 4 equal groups, how many will be in each group? 5, because 20 divided by 4 is 5. So, 1/4 of 20 is 5. Let's prove it using multiplication. I know that when I multiply 1/4 times 20, what improper fraction will I get? I'll get 20 over 4. When I divide 20 divided by 4, that gives me 5 pages in each group with none left over. So the answer is still 5. Now here are 3 for you to try. You can use multiplication or a bar model. What's 3/5 of 10? 3/5 of 10 is 6. I've shown work in 2 different ways. What's 1/6 of 30? 1/6 of 30 is 5. I've shown my work in 2 different ways. Last problem. What's 1/3 of 6? 1/3 of 6 is 2. I've shown my work in 2 different ways. You've done a great job on this video. Go ahead and record your score for Play Pause It, then get on ST Math or Prodigy until you get further directions from me.